There comes a time in life, usually after 60, when something inside of us changes. The things that once stirred us don't anymore. Loud crowds, endless social obligations, small talk. We start craving something else. Peace, stillness, a sense of inner safety. And it's not just a feeling, it's a need. You've earned that shift. You've walked through enough storms, sacrificed more than people know, held your breath to keep others comfortable. And now, your spirit wants to breathe. According to research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, older adults who maintain environments of emotional calm experience lower blood pressure, reduced inflammation, and better sleep. Their brains age more slowly, and their hearts beat more evenly. That tells us one thing: peace isn't luxury, it's medicine. But too often, we still put ourselves in emotionally unsafe places. We visit homes where we leave feeling worse than when we came. We think we're being polite, loyal, or strong. But what we're really doing is ignoring the very voice inside us that's whispering, "This is not good for you." Today, we're going to talk about the 4 kinds of homes you should never visit if you want to protect your health, your spirit, and your peace. Because your peace comes first, and when you lose it, everything else suffers. The first home is the home of the constant complainer. You know the kind. You walk in, and within minutes you're bombarded with negativity. The government is ruining everything. The neighbors are too loud. Their health is terrible. Nobody visits them. It's always something. While we all have tough days and deserve a listening ear, constant complaining becomes toxic when it's habitual. Dr. Travis Bradberry, author of Emotional Intelligence 2.0, states that repetitive negativity rewires the brain for more stress, making both the complainer and their listeners more anxious over time. For seniors, this is dangerous. It can lead to depressive symptoms, emotional fatigue, and increased feelings of helplessness. And even more than that, it begins to dim your light. The Yale School of Public Health conducted a study showing that seniors who maintain positive emotional environments live on average 7.5 years longer than those immersed in negativity. That's not an opinion. That's data. Choosing not to step into homes that drain your energy isn't rudeness. It's wisdom. If you're constantly being someone's emotional landfill, it's okay to say, "I can't today." Let your peace be the reason you excuse yourself. Let's talk about the second home, the home of the emotional manipulator. These people often come wrapped in familiarity. They might be a sibling, a longtime friend, or even a grown child. They seem harmless, even loving at first, but every conversation feels like a game. You're guilt-tripped for not visiting sooner. They remind you of favors they did 10 years ago. They ask how you're doing, but twist your words later. These are the masters of control. According to Dr. George Simon, a leading clinical psychologist and author of In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People, emotional manipulators use tactics like selective kindness, guilt, triangulation, and gaslighting to make you doubt yourself and conform to their needs. Over time, visiting their home feels less like a connection and more like a performance. You're walking on eggshells, constantly trying to not upset them, and you leave wondering if you're the problem. That mental and emotional labor is exhausting, especially for seniors. Your brain becomes tired not from thinking, but from defending itself. Emotional manipulation leads to stress hormone elevation, which, according to the American Psychological Association, can increase risk for stroke, heart disease, and memory issues in older adults. Let that sink in. Choosing not to walk into homes where manipulation waits is an act of self-preservation. Just because someone shares your blood doesn't mean they get unrestricted access to your time, energy, and spirit. Protect yourself not out of hatred but out of love for your peace. Now let's talk about the third home, the house of chaos. It might belong to someone you love dearly, but every time you visit it feels like you've walked into a hurricane. The TV is blaring. People are arguing in the next room. Someone's venting about drama. There's tension in the air so thick you can barely breathe. No one seems to be listening to each other. Everyone's trying to be louder. You sit there, sip your coffee, smile politely, and silently beg the visit to end. That's not peace. That's trauma disguised as family time. Dr. Stephen Porges, the creator of the polyvagal theory, explains that our nervous system is constantly scanning for safety cues. When it senses chaos, it doesn't matter if we logically know we're not in danger. Our body still activates fight or flight mode. That means rapid heartbeat, muscle tension, digestive issues, and even memory disruption. If you've ever walked out of a chaotic house feeling like your body was buzzing or your head was spinning, that's not just mental exhaustion. It's your vagus nerve crying for relief. And it's more serious than we realize. A study from the University of Michigan found that seniors who regularly experience social environments high in tension and unpredictability show signs of cognitive decline, up to 3 times faster than their peers in calmer settings. That's not about age. It's about exposure. You are not meant to live in survival mode. If a home brings you more stress than solace, you're allowed to stop going. Even if you love the people inside it. Love doesn't mean self-sacrifice to the point of emotional injury. Love also means truth. And the truth is, chaos is not your responsibility to fix. Now here comes the most subtle and dangerous home of all, the home of stagnation and shame. This is the house that never lets you evolve. It may be full of family or lifelong friends who remember who you were, but they refuse to honor who you've become. Maybe you lost weight, found your faith again, started writing, started dating, or changed your politics, and instead of support, you get jokes, criticism, or silence. They make you feel like you're not allowed to grow. You walk in feeling confident and leave questioning yourself. Why is that? Because they're not used to seeing you healthy. Dr. Brené Brown calls this identity tethering, when people tie you so tightly to who you were that they can't accept who you're becoming. And here's what makes it worse. This kind of environment delays healing. According to a study from Stanford University's Center on Longevity, older adults who engage in forward-thinking, purpose-based relationships show better emotional resilience and slower mental aging. But those trapped in nostalgic, regressive environments often develop increased anxiety, shame, and feelings of worthlessness. These homes become emotional cages. They may be clean and cozy, but they don't nourish you. And any place that starves your progress is not a home. It's a trap. Don't keep visiting rooms where you're forced to shrink. You're not who you were in 1983. You've lived. You've hurt. You've healed. You've earned your growth. And anyone who mocks it, blocks it, or minimizes it doesn't deserve front row access to your spirit. Distance isn't punishment, it's protection. So, what can you do instead? How do you protect your peace without becoming a hermit? Start by redefining what connection looks like. Connection doesn't have to mean sitting in someone's house. It can mean a phone call when you feel up for it, a walk in a public park, a chat over coffee in a neutral, peaceful space. According to the AARP Foundation, social isolation increases health risks for older adults, but not all connection is created equal. What we need is quality connection. Safe, kind, calm relationships that nourish us, not just being around people. So if a visit to someone's home always leaves you upset, stop calling it connection. Call it what it is: self-abandonment. And it's okay to stop. In fact, it's healthy. Set boundaries. Use phrases like, "I can't make it, but let's talk soon," or "I'm taking time to rest this week, I'll check in later." You don't need to explain or apologize. Remember, boundaries aren't barriers, they're doors you control. You decide who enters, how long they stay, and what energy they bring. The homes you avoid now may actually preserve your health 5, 10, even 15 years from now. Because every emotionally unsafe moment adds up, but so does every peaceful one. When you prioritize calm, your heart rate slows, your immune system strengthens, your sleep deepens, your joy expands. Peace is not passive, it's active. It's a choice, and it's the most radical form of self-care there is. As you move through this season of life, make this your daily prayer. Let me walk where my soul feels safe. That's it. That's your compass. Walk into homes where you're seen, heard, and loved without conditions. Avoid places where guilt is the doorbell and shame is the wallpaper. This is not about cutting people off. It's about choosing where your energy flows. You're not too sensitive. You're finally aware. That's growth. That's strength. That's healing. One of the most important truths you learn as you grow older is this: not every invitation is meant to be accepted, especially when it costs you your inner calm. Some homes don't just drain you while you're there, they follow you home. You might notice it later that evening. Your body feels tight, your sleep is disturbed, your thoughts are racing, your mood feels low for no reason. But there is a reason. Energy is real. And every place you enter either replenishes you or robs you. A clinical psychiatrist, Dr. Judith Orloff, a faculty member at UCLA and author of the Empath Survival Guide, explains that emotional energy is like secondhand smoke. When you're around emotional toxicity, even for short visits, your system absorbs it. This can lead to burnout, immune fatigue, and even chronic illness over time. For those over 60, this effect is more pronounced because your nervous system has weathered decades of life. It needs calm now to recover, not conflict to relive. Think of every visit as an investment. Does it return joy, inspiration, kindness, peace? Or does it return stress, confusion, guilt, or shame? If it's the latter, you're allowed to stop investing there. Your presence isn't an obligation. It's a gift. And like any gift, it should be given thoughtfully. Now, what about those who say, "But I can't just stop going. It's my brother's house," or "They'll talk badly about me if I don't show up"? Let's talk about that. One of the biggest fears people over 60 face is the fear of being misunderstood, being labeled as cold, distant, or difficult. But here's the truth. People who love you don't punish you for protecting yourself. People who truly care won't guilt you into entering places that harm your spirit. And for the ones who do, let them misunderstand you. Let them think what they will. Because your job in this life is not to be understood by everyone. It's to be healthy, whole, and well. According to the Mayo Clinic, Emotional stress caused by social guilt is linked to reduced longevity and increased risk of stroke and heart disease in older adults. You don't owe your health in exchange for anyone's approval. You've spent decades showing up for people, proving yourself, explaining your worth. You don't have to do that anymore. This stage of life is about choosing ease over obligation, peace over politics, rest over routine, and freedom over fear. So if someone's home is filled with gossip, judgment, resentment, or chaos, it's okay to sit that one out. Your soul has earned a quiet night in. In fact, learning to say no can become one of the most powerful tools for emotional freedom. Harvard Health Publishing reports that seniors who set personal boundaries are less likely to develop stress-induced illness and more likely to report satisfaction with life. This means every time you politely decline a draining invitation, you're literally adding health to your days. Peace isn't something you find in retirement. It's something you fight for, choose intentionally, and defend daily. And it often begins with where you let your feet walk. Don't step into places your spirit has already warned you about. Trust that inner voice. The same way your knees tell you when to sit down, your heart tells you when to step away. And when you follow that voice, something beautiful happens. You stop surviving, and you start living. You stop visiting out of guilt and start gathering out of joy. You stop explaining yourself and start honoring yourself. And that's when you truly begin to thrive. At the 60+ chapter, we believe in creating a life you love, mainly after 60+ age where not much people and supports are with you. Every story we share is meant to bring hope, knowledge, and tools that help you live better, not just longer. We are here for you, and we'll keep bringing you real stories, practical tips, and trusted advice every day. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to listen. Or if it simply gave you hope, please take a moment right now to click subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. It helps us reach more people like you, and it keeps the 60+ chapter channel going strong. Let's grow this beautiful community together.